Awesome. Hello, everybody. So while I test this, watch live. I'm going to test this right now. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, there we go. Everything's good. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment with the word replay, just so that I can get some data on whether you guys are watching this on YouTube or through an audio podcast. And if you're catching the replay, obviously. So go ahead and leave a comment if you're watching this replay in the comments. Awesome. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Heather. I'm your YouTube coach and consultant, and I help online entrepreneurs build their businesses and their brands using YouTube. And today I'm doing, this is the second show of a live stream video podcast that I'm doing on this YouTube channel, to be named, name to be determined. I still haven't thought about a name yet. But basically the premise of the show is that it's basically an online office hours for helping you get your YouTube channel to the next level, for helping you kind of troubleshoot your issues with YouTube, to see how you can grow, to learn best practices, to keep up with trends and stuff like that. Today's topic is, if your YouTube channel, if you're feeling stuck with your YouTube channel, that's what I kind of want to address. That's what I feel like some of my clients have been struggling with, is like there's just this feeling of things are not increasing anymore, but we don't know where to start. We don't know if it's our videos. We don't know what kind of content we should be creating or what's the next video. We don't know what kind of analytics we should be paying attention to. So that's kind of what I want to unpack today. So if you happen to catch this live, I'm also peeking in the comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat right now. So the way that I want to start this out is, if you are feeling stuck with your YouTube channel, but you've already kind of put the pieces in place, like you've built the foundation for your YouTube channel. In terms of a YouTube channel audit, I'm going to do that after, okay? But I'm going to assume that, you know, you have your channel banner in place, you've made a few videos, you've had a few viewers, even if it's a small amount of viewers, you have some data to work with, right? So you have some data where you can look in the analytics and you can actually see, okay, here are, you know, at least 10 videos that I've made. Here are the most popular ones. Here's the data that came from these videos and stuff like that. So if you're at that point, but you're still feeling stuck, you're not really sure, you know, you haven't been seeing growth and you're not really sure like how to get to the next level, this is the first thing that I want you to do. This is the first thing I would suggest that you do, is to go to youtube.com. Okay, go to YouTube and go to your homepage. So I'm actually going to just do that right now on the side here. And the first thing that you're going to see when you get to YouTube is that it's going to open up on your homepage as a viewer, obviously. And the first thing that you're going to see is an ad, but underneath that, you're going to see the recommended section. Okay, so I'm looking at my recommended section. And what I want you to do is look at the videos in your recommended section. This section is based off of your search history, your view history, other videos that you've watched, you know, videos that based on your user behavior and other people's user behavior, these are the videos that YouTube feels like you are most likely to be interested in. Okay. So there's a lot of data that goes into curating what you see here in this recommended section. But what I want you to do is not only look at it as a viewer, right? So you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the videos in here are videos that I do want to watch. But I now want you to switch the hat from viewer to creator. Okay. And I want you to think, what are the videos that your audience, like what are the videos that are showing up in the recommended section of your viewers? So on their YouTube homepages, right? If one of your viewers logs into YouTube, what's popping up in the recommended section if they are a subscriber to your channel? Okay. I think it's important to kind of go through it through that lens, because then that can give you an idea of what other content, like what is in the ethos of this viewer. If you are like me, you know, I'm teaching people how to start a YouTube channel. Well, what if someone clicked on one video and watched one video? What are the other videos that you think, based off of watching that one video, would pop up in this recommended section? Is it a video that kind of expands on this topic? Is it a video that introduces this new thing that maybe people haven't heard about or thought about? Think about that when it comes to your business. Because if you can get it so that this is the thing, if you can get it so that your content is all planned and strategically curated, then you help YouTube promote your content for you, because now you can pop up in this recommended section. Doesn't matter whether people are subscribed, because a lot of the channels that show up in this recommended section aren't necessarily channels that viewers are subscribed to, right? So that's why, again, it's super important. I emphasize this a lot. It's not about the subscribers. Yes, that is a great indicator as to the success of a channel. But because of the way that YouTube works right now in 2019, as of me making this video, they are doing a very aggressive job of promoting content to viewers from channels that they are not necessarily subscribed to, which I personally think works in your favor to really get in front of eyes that have no idea who you are yet, right? Like, YouTube can do the work in terms of introducing you to these people, but it only works if you understand the ethos of your viewer. Like, even looking at the videos that are popping up here, they're not necessarily like what I'm working on or the last thing that I searched, but it's kind of like 1 degree off. And there are so many data points that go into the curation of this section. This is where the algorithm is doing its thing. It's really, we can go into what we think is going to display here and how it displays here, but just to be perfectly honest, YouTube doesn't make that data public. So we can only kind of guess, right? And that's why, if you think about like where your customer, your client, your viewer, people in your audience, it's not just about your content. Like, what else are they kind of seeing? And that brings me to my next point, is kind of like lifestyle. I think that's a huge aspect that YouTube creators can kind of capitalize on. So especially like when you're making content, educational content, content that's around your industry as a business owner, a lot of what people want to see is the lifestyle as a result of your service or your product, right? Or they want to see what your lifestyle is being the seller of that service or product. Okay, so for example, if you are promoting your products, some kind of products on your YouTube channel, not only do you have to explain the product, obviously, but how is your life impacted as a result, right? Because viewers are looking to see that, they want to see the same result in their life. They want to see if it's going to translate if they are struggling with the same things. So the more that you can kind of showcase that. So like, for example, if you're giving advice on, I don't know, let's say productivity, right? How's your life different before and after this one technique? Or, maybe I did this recently. I did vision journaling for 30 days. So I could do a video on like the before and the after. And how is my life different? I can show different aspects of that. If you are giving, like financial advice, okay, how is someone's life going to be different now that they're incorporating this new piece of advice? How are things going to change? If you could always go back to the lifestyle, if you could always go back to how this is really going to make an impact in the bigger picture, that's when your content is going to start popping up in this recommended section. Because here's the thing, right? You are competing, like when people first log on to YouTube, no matter where they're doing it from, the first thing they see is this recommended section. The first thing they see. And I'm not sure if all YouTube viewers realize that the content that they're seeing is not necessarily from their subscriptions. I think seasoned YouTube viewers know to click on the subscription tab and see the content from channels they're actually subscribed to. But honestly, I think a lot of people are lazy. I think a lot of people just go to this recommended section and kind of go down the rabbit hole, clicking this video and that video and that video. And that's kind of what you want to help YouTube do, is have one of your videos lead to the rabbit hole. Like just they watch 1, they watch 2, they watch 3, and they just go down this whole thing because of your content. And that's really where it's essential to plan your content ahead of time, to really have a bigger picture so that you can keep track and like make sure there's still cohesion there, you know? But of course, it also depends on the kind of content that you create. But I really do think that's the best practice. So if you're stuck with your content, go to your recommended page and try to view, or go to your YouTube homepage and check out the recommended section and try to go into it with the lens of, you know, this is, what is a viewer going to see? Like, what is my viewer seeing? What other content can I create that would naturally pop up here based off of YouTube's algorithm, right? So that's the first thing. And then, are you showcasing lifestyle content? Are you emphasizing the fact that this is a people platform and people are using video to connect with other people? But it's about, like, it always comes back to the bigger picture, which is like, how are you making an impact on someone's life? How is whatever content that you're creating making an impact in the bigger picture? Are you showcasing that? Are you using yourself as an example? You know, I mean, that's the best place to, in my opinion, it's the best access to content because it's just you, right? But is there a way that you can kind of be more personable, be more one-on-one, kind of show a lens into what your life is like, since you're already impacted by the products and services that you offer. You're already impacted by your value. So how is your life different from before you started doing your thing, before you developed your product and service, or before you made this life change that now is the life change that you're selling to other people? So yeah, peeking in the comments, Idoji, hi. No worries. I was late today as well. He's saying that he was extra late as usual. No worries. But thanks for tuning in. So that's part 1. If you're stuck with your content, you can start there. Now I'm going to shift to, if you're just getting started with YouTube and you have, you know, you kind of don't have a plan yet, you're still figuring it out. This is the fun stage. Like, gosh, I think it can be really intimidating and overwhelming because there's so much that you can focus on when when you're at that stage of just getting off the ground. The one thing that I could recommend is, you know, of course it's motivating when you get traction. Of course it's motivating when you see your view count go from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100. Of course it's motivating to get comments. But I promise you, the people who make it on this platform create content consistently, and the motivation comes from the very act of creating. It does not come from the validation that you get from other people. You know, there's something super satisfying as a creator that you created something that no one else could. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad or effective or whatever. It's just like no one else could create the thing that you're creating, and you're putting it out there just to share it. That's it. And that in itself is like the motivating thing. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, my vlog YouTube channel, I was like so excited about every video that I saw. I swear, like, most of the majority of those views is just me watching my content over and over again because I was so proud of them. Like, even though they're terrible, they're totally terrible videos. I didn't know what I was doing, but I loved doing it. And that's what helped me make more videos and get better and develop a system and develop a routine and hone my skills and build up that experience and stuff like that. So point is, if you're just getting started and you have no idea what you're doing, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're making videos, okay? And you're making videos that you would actually want to watch. You're making videos that bring you joy. You are making videos that make you proud. Doesn't mean that they're the best videos. They don't got to be the best videos. But if you're making videos that, you know, it kind of feels like you're pulling teeth, maybe switch your format up. Maybe try a different angle. Maybe try a different approach, because maybe there's just a different way of doing it that you haven't tried that you would actually enjoy more. And if you're enjoying it more, it I promise you it comes through. It comes through to the viewer, it comes through to the subscriber, it comes through to you. That's where the motivation comes from, because you're just having fun, right? So you definitely want to obviously consistently create videos on your YouTube channel. That's totally number one. But in terms of a YouTube channel audit, here's my best, the one tip, the one piece of advice that I can give on this live stream session that I'm going to consider homework for every single person who watches this, okay? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your phone, okay? And you're going to go to Starbucks or some place where people congregate and just hang out, okay? The mall, whatever. And you're going to give your phone that has your YouTube channel open, okay? So you have your YouTube channel open on here, and you're going to give your phone and show it to somebody. Show it to someone who has no idea who you are. And you're going to set a timer for 20 seconds. 30 maybe at the most, okay? 20 to 30 seconds. And then you're going to take your phone back and you're going to ask them, describe my channel. Like, what is my channel about? Who is my channel for? And compare answers from like 3 to 5 different people. I promise you're going to get feedback from that'll show you what your next step is, because it's different for everybody. Obviously the basics, your YouTube channel banner, your thumbnails, your profile icon, your channel description, even the kind of videos that you're uploading. How consistently are you uploading? How many videos do you have? Do you have enough videos to give people an idea of what your ultimate goal is? All of these things, like, it's going to be different for everyone, but that's why the greatest progress report that you can do, the greatest, what should I do next, is to show your channel to other people who have no idea who you are, have not been following you at all. Can they describe your channel easily in just a first impression? In just, the same amount of time that anyone, a first-time viewer, new to your channel, would they be able to clearly explain or decipher whether your channel is something that they want to subscribe to or not? It's okay if they don't want to be a subscriber, right? You're not trying to be everyone's favorite channel. But is your channel branding clear enough so that if they knew somebody who would be interested in being a subscriber, that they could refer, like, hey, check out this guy's channel, they do this. I think you would really like it because of XYZ. Like, is your channel branding that clear? I think that is the number one step. And I really think that putting yourself out there like that and getting that feedback is the best thing that you can do. Because you honestly need like fresh eyes, a fresh pair of eyes to look at your YouTube channel and really tell you, this is what I think your channel is about, just from 20, 30 seconds of looking at it and spending time on there. And that's it. Because of course I can tell you like best practices for all of these things, but really it's like, you guys know what that is. Like, you know what it is. I have a free YouTube action plan that outlines 12 steps to help you optimize your channel. You can download it on my website for free if you want to check that out. So all of that is there. Okay. You can find all of that, but the ultimate test is like, is your channel working? Is your branding working? You're already working on the videos, right? You're making the videos, you're getting better and better. You're developing your process and gaining your experience. But I think in addition to that, the branding is so important. It has to be super clear. And if a random person can't describe to you what your channel is about after looking at it for 20 seconds, then you need to work on something, right? Like, maybe you can have a conversation with that person and ask them, like, could you give me some feedback? Like, what is unclear? Where did you get that? Like, what made you come to that conclusion? Idoji says, I finally narrowed what I want my channel to be. I just want to get further along in my book before producing anything else, slowly converting. Yeah, no worries. I mean, definitely, I think YouTube, I think especially as a business owner, you want to see your YouTube channel as a product and a service, right? Like, you want to put in the same amount of seriousness and the same amount of importance and magnitude and effort into your YouTube channel as a product or service, like as an extension of your business. But the difference is that, like, you're not going to see the results overnight, especially if you're still in this building phase. But the difference is that you want to see your YouTube channel as kind of this investment or this asset that eventually is going, has the potential to really end up becoming the foundation for everything, to end up becoming, the biggest source, your biggest source of free organic traffic. It totally can. Like, that is possible for anybody. Okay. But it does take the investment. It takes the time and the investment of, energy, resources, all of those things. So whatever time you have to dedicate to that, great. Like, there's, obviously it's up to you guys, but I definitely think that if you're trying, if you're still in that growth phase, the more that you can dedicate to this YouTube channel to get it to a level where people clearly understand exactly what your channel is about and who it's for. And that doesn't take a lot. I think it's a lot more simple than it seems. It's not easy, but it's relatively simple. Like, it's the same thing as building a storefront. Like, you need your sign, you need the name of your business, you need a look and a feel, you need to like put out your signature products and stuff. It's the same thing. So like you need to build your storefront in the form of the YouTube channel, in the form of YouTube videos, in the form of your branding and stuff like that. So, and then the last thing I'll leave you with for this YouTube stream, if you've done your YouTube channel audit and everyone, is on the same page of like, yes, this is what my YouTube channel is about. They're all clear about it. The 5 random people all say the same thing, or, there's the same underlying message. And you're still stuck. The one thing that I would suggest is to take a look at your closing team. Okay. Your closing team are your titles and your thumbnails of your videos, your titles and your thumbnails, because no one watches a video unless the title and the thumbnail do their job. That's just a fact, right? You can make the best video in the whole world, but it's your title and your thumbnails that piques the interest of a potential viewer and gets them to click, regardless if they're subscribers or not. It doesn't matter, because there's plenty of people who are subscribed to channels that don't watch all of the content that they're subscribed to. So that's why it's like, what you can do is, once you have some data to work with, go into your analytics or go to your videos and sort by most viewed, sort by most comments, look at your top performing videos. And by top performing, I don't necessarily mean the highest views. That could be one indicator, but also, which one has the most engagement, which one has the most discussion, or which one has the most watch time. That's great. How much time, like which videos have people spent the most time watching on your channel, and start analyzing why. Where is this coming from? What was it about the topic? What was it about the title and thumbnail that got them to click? What's in the thumbnail? Is my face in the thumbnail? Did I have text overlays? I've mentioned this before, if you are saying the same thing in your text and your thumbnail, you are kind of wasting space, right? Like they should be a team that works in tandem. They should work as a team to help convince a viewer that, yes, this is the content that they want to watch. Yes, this content is something that is not going to be a waste of time, is going to deliver on its promise. It's going to deliver on the expectation that's set by the title and thumbnail, all of that. So, I think there's 3 pieces to this. You need to have your branding in place. So do your YouTube channel audit, go show it to 5 random people and see if they can all decipher what your YouTube channel is about. Number 2, obviously you need to be creating content on a consistent basis. You can't let yourself get discouraged by low views. Like, low views is not an indicator of a failed channel. I'm just going to say that right there. That is not an indicator of a failed channel, because you don't know when the inflection point is happening. If you zoom out, you don't know when it's working until way after the fact. And I can tell you that from personal experience. But the third thing that you can look at is your titles and your thumbnails, because just because your video, some of your videos are older doesn't mean that they don't have the potential to ever get seen again. Like how many videos go to your recommended section. Okay. So go back to YouTube, go to the recommended section, first thing that you see on YouTube, and look at the videos that are showing there. I promise you, most of them are not going to necessarily be the most recent upload from that person's channel. Like probably a majority of them. I like here, I'll even look at mine. There's a video on here that's from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Yes, of course, there's 3 hours ago, there's 3 weeks ago, there's more recent content. 2 years ago, here's another one 2 years ago, 7 months ago, 7 months ago. There's still content that is older, has had more time to hang out on the shelf, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the potential to ever get discovered ever again. All it takes is, if you feel like you can make better content, make better content. If you can do an updated version of that video, if you can take a new angle, if you can, now that you have all this experience, you could just make a better version of that video, then do that. But if you think that these videos that are 6 months, a year older, whatever, that these are good, relevant videos that if people were to discover them today, they're still great, they would still be something that people want to watch, change the title and the thumbnail. That can do wonders. You would be surprised. Like Tom changed one of his thumbnails one day after months of having this video just sit there. And after he changed the thumbnail, boom, spike. And that's all he did. All he did was change the thumbnail. That's it. So, another thing that you can do is, like, if you're not sure what to change the thumbnail to, is go to the YouTube search bar and type in the keyword that is relevant to your video, right? And see what other thumbnails people are using. If you put your thumbnail next to them, does it stand out? Would it be something that you clicked on? Like how are you doing something that's more relevant and eye-catching than the other results? Because of course you're always competing. People can always watch something else, right? The super dedicated hardcore YouTubers, like some of them even Photoshop their thumbnail onto a recommended page to see if it's something that they feel would be most clickable. Now, clickable does not mean clickbait, right? Of course, you have to deliver on your expectation. Otherwise, you get high bounce rate and you have low audience retention. So that's the last thing that you want to do. But there's definitely a way to package, to, showcase, to introduce your video to potential viewers. There's definitely, I think there's always an opportunity to improve there. So definitely, if you have videos that have been sitting on the shelf for a while and they just stop getting traction, totally try changing your thumbnail and your title. And again, go to the YouTube search bar, type in that relevant keyword that's relevant to your video and your content, and see what other people are creating. Look at the other results and see, like, hey, if my video were here, would you click on your video or would you click on someone else's? People scroll down a little bit. I'd say look at the first 10 results and see, like, if your video is just a screenshot from your video, I know YouTube's getting better at picking thumbnails, but I think you're always going to be able to, I think your thumbnail is always going to be more effective if you put the intention behind creating something strategic. Like, I think that whatever you create, whether you add text overlays, whether you add emojis, whether you take a separate photo and do a high quality photo, whether you take it into Instagram and you do some filters and stuff like that first, I think whatever, thumbnail that you actually go the step above to actually create, I think that's always going to be more effective, hands down. So if your channel is feeling stuck, totally revisit your channel and see how you can kind of update your thumbnails and your titles. And the other thing I'll say about titles is, like, are you including an emotional aspect to the title? Because of course, like people can be like, how do I fix the kitchen sink? But, I mean, that's kind of a bad example because the emotion is kind of already built into it. But you want to be able to answer the question, like, why should people care? So if the ultimate goal is to like increase sales, but you're teaching them how to do email sequences, like no one wants to learn about email sequences, but everybody wants to increase sales, right? So make sure to add that. Answer the question, why should I care? What does this matter in the grand scheme of things? How is this going to make an impact on my ultimate goal? Because especially as a business owner, a lot of people don't realize what they don't know. They don't know how it fits into the bigger picture. For a long time, I didn't know that email sequences were a necessity. Like, how would I ever have known that if it weren't for just, kind of learning and being in this atmosphere of things? It didn't come until later. So that's why, as you're creating your content and you're developing your titles, like sometimes you have to add that emotional content and speak the language of your viewer. What is their ultimate goal? And you could do the testing of this, like by speaking to your audience, by really understanding what they're struggling with, by really understanding the goal that they want to achieve, and really understanding like how your content, how your products, and how your services fit into that journey for them. Then you could really make a difference. Then your content can really pack a punch. And I really believe that you're going to start to see yourself get unstuck, and then you'll start to get to the next level where you'll have a completely different set of questions from there. So going to check in the comments really quick. Ben, hi, hello. I haven't seen your music video yet, but I'm super excited to watch it today. Serrato Design. Hello, Heather. How are you? Hello, everybody. So thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, my name is Heather. I'm a YouTube coach. I'm pretty much wrapping up this episode, but every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am doing a live stream video podcast, which is basically like YouTube office hours for any online entrepreneur that's looking to leverage YouTube to build their brand and grow their business. So you could check back. Obviously, I count on most people catching the replay here, but if you want to catch the next episode, I'll be here on Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you have any specific questions that you'd like to ask me about that I could table for future episodes, that would be great. Feel free to leave in the comments below. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you guys, can use some of this to get your channel unstuck on YouTube. I think diagnosing your channel and trying to figure out what should you be paying attention to in terms of how you can improve is always an ongoing journey. You could always get more equipment. You could always like go into your analytics and look at this and look at that and look at this. And, you can, there's just so many things you can work on your thumbnails till kingdom come. There's a lot to work on. So I know it can be kind of overwhelming, but I think if you start with these 3 things, I think it could really move the needle for you. So that's where I'll end. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.